Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So Microsoft is busy finalizing our first optional bug fix update of this year, 2026, for Windows 11, 24, and 25H2, which is KB5074105, and that was rolled out to the release preview channel insiders late yesterday on the 27th of January in my region. So if we quickly head to the calendar, because the update rolled out yesterday, I personally don't think it will roll out this week. It's not enough time for testing, so there's a good chance if we don't see it this week, it'll start rolling out starting next week, Tuesday the 3rd of February 2026. And obviously when that does happen, I will post and let you guys know. Now, just a quick overview as to what's new. First of all, we get 10 new features, which are all rolling out gradually, and a couple of fixes that are rolling out gradually. So the fixes and the new features I'm going to mention now, when it does roll out to the stable channel over the next coming days, you may or may not see at the get-go. Now, first of all, for Copilot Plus PCs, there's a new feature for agent in settings, with Microsoft saying the settings agent now supports more languages with expanded support for German, Portuguese, Spanish, Korean, Japanese, Hindi, Italian, and Chinese. So that's only rolling out for Copilot Plus PCs. And then everything else now I'm going to mention is rolling out for your so-called normal or regular PCs. So that's across the board. Now, first of all, there's a new feature for cross-device resume. So for that, if we head into our settings, if you're using this feature, Microsoft says the update expands the functionality of cross-device resume, which was first introduced in May of last year, which means you can now continue activities from your Android phone on your PC based on the apps and services you use, including resuming Spotify playback, working in Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, or continuing a browsing session. So if you are using the resume feature, that's a nice move in the right direction. Now, there's a new feature for Windows MIDI services. Microsoft says this update improves MIDI on Windows with enhanced support for MIDI 0 and MIDI 2.0, including full WinMM and WinRT MIDI 1 support with built-in translation, shared MIDI ports across apps, custom port names, loopback, and app-to-app MIDI, plus performance improvements and bug fixes, which Microsoft says will deliver a better experience for musicians. So if you are a musician and using Windows MIDI services, that also could be a step in the right direction. And then for Narrator, which is an accessibility feature, you can now choose which details are spoken and adjust their order to match how you navigate apps. So there's a new feature for Narrator. And for the settings home, you can now view the device card on the settings home page, which will show key specifications and usage details for your PC. So you'll see a new device card on your settings home page. And then for Smart App Control, if we quickly head into Windows Security App and Browser Control, Smart App Control, Microsoft says you can turn Smart App Control on or off without any clean install requirement. To make changes, you would head to, as I've just shown you, Windows Security App and Browser Control, Smart App Control. And then when turned on, SAC helps block untrusted or potentially harmful apps. Now, currently that's not the case. You can see mine is turned off with the option to turn it on grayed out. And I have covered this previously, where previously you could only have the chance to turn this on or off if you clean installed Windows. This was an updated machine, so that's all changing, where you'll be able to turn Smart App Control on or off without any clean install. And I think that's definitely a move in the right direction. And then heading back to our accessibility, this time we're heading to voice access. Microsoft says there's a new feature for voice access which makes it easier to get started with voice access. The redesigned experience, Microsoft says, helps you download a speech model for your chosen language, select your preferred input microphone, and learn what voice access can help you do on your Windows PC. And then there is a new feature for voice typing, which is the wait time before acting setting in voice typing enables you to adjust the delay before a voice command runs. And then for Windows Hello, there's also a new feature. Windows Hello Enhanced Sign-In Security, ESS, now supports peripheral fingerprint sensors. This update, Microsoft says, extends this more secure sign-in option beyond devices with built-in fingerprint sensors to include desktops and other Windows 11 PCs, including Copilot Plus PCs. Now, those are the new features rolling out gradually. And then we've got some fixes rolling out gradually. Microsoft says it's fixed the warning message displayed when shutting down your computer. If other users are logged in, they may be truncated by the edge of the start menu. So that's a little niggly issue that's been sorted out. And Microsoft also says the start menu may open on the wrong side of the screen when using Arabic or Hebrew display language and the taskbar icons aren't centered. So that's also another important fix if you find yourself in those regions. And then for Windows Update, there's a fix where trying to join the Windows Insider program from settings Windows Update might get stuck. And there's a lock screen improvement where Microsoft has made some underlying changes to help address cases where the lock screen could become unresponsive. And then for File Explorer, Microsoft says it's made some underlying changes to help improve responsiveness of File Explorer when navigating in network locations. And there's a fix for Explorer.exe, which is the shell of your operating system, like your File Explorer, Start menu, taskbar, and so on, where Explorer.exe may hang when first logging into your PC if certain apps were configured as startup apps. This could make the taskbar not appear, so that's also important. And there's an activation fix where in some cases valid Windows license migration might fail when upgrading because the device couldn't register with the Windows activation server. And then there's a fix for desktop icons where you may see desktop icons unexpectedly move when interacting with files such as opening or renaming them. And there's a fix for input where the keyboard character repeat delay labels in settings, Bluetooth and devices keyboard are reversed, so that's also quite important. And there's a UAC user account control fix where your PC might freeze when attempting to run Windows Terminal elevated from a non-admin account. So those fixes are rolling out gradually. Now moving on to normal rollout, we've got one new feature which I'm just going to mention. The update adds a feature for data protection, application programming interface, domain backup, key management. Administrators, Microsoft says, can now set how often keys rotate automatically. And then for secure boot, there's an improvement, and this is something I have been posted on, where this release for Windows 11 version 24H2 will execute updates in the boot manager on devices that already have the Windows UEFI CA 2023 certificate in their secure boot signature database. Microsoft says it replaces the 2011 signed boot MGFW EFI with the 2023 signed boot mgfw.efi. So that's something Microsoft is now doing across the board with those secure boot certificates. And then for the start menu, there's a fix where if you do use the phone companion, the phone link companion as a widget here to the right-hand side, I don't, but if you do, for some users, Microsoft says clicking the hide this pain button in the mobile device side panel may not lead to the setting to hide it. And there's a fix for display and graphics, black screen issues in isolated multi-user environments, typically after a Windows upgrade. That's been fixed. And then the last one to mention for this video, there are a couple of other fixes taking place under the hood. But the last one for this video is the update addresses an issue that could cause a system crash during startup when Windows Boot Manager debugging is enabled. So guys, that's more or less what to expect in our next optional update, which is the first optional C release update for Windows 11, 24, and 25H2 for this year. KB5074105, which will be rolling out over the next couple of days. And obviously, this is subject to change. It's still in preview, so one or two things could change when it actually rolls out to the stable channel. So always keep that in mind. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.